Yo, it's Verteezy and the No More Black Tears podcast.
Caesar C's in the building.
Mr. DJ Rose.
And we got two guests tonight.
Yo, it's Dre and Nicole. What's up?
And TJ.
And we also got a family honorary fourth member, the fourth member of the crew.
Hey, what's up? This is OJ Juice Man, 706 Stun. Let's get it.
Yo. So, what everybody drinking tonight? Rose?
I'm sipping on that City Gin today.
The City Gin, that hen dog.
We got that Uncle Nares over here.
What y'all sipping on?
I got that. Hennessy girl.
Oh, I got that high quality H2O.
Okay.
That good water.
So let me give y'all the rundown. We're gonna talk about some gun issues today. We're gonna move on to TNT. Of course, what's wrong with these hoes? And we're gonna talk about that boy Michael Orr.
That's the blind side story.
So, for those who've been paying attention these past couple of years, we've had a lot of school shootings. You know, we've had a lot of death rates, due to gun violence. And we've had a lot of politicians talking about more guns, less guns, protecting people's gun rights, and all those different issues. I'm going to start with C's. What do we need to do to calm down some of this gun violence going on today in America? And how do we stop some of these shootings that's been going on the last couple of years?
Basically, the statistic is there's like a mass murder or mass attack every 20 minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes. So that's like anything more than 4 people that get attacked or shot, killed is basically considered a mass attack for, statistical wise. America is also one of the most lenient countries with gun laws. Saying that, so it's like, and there's even a statistic, like some bullshit statistic, if Russia or China decided to attack the U.S., they would have problems because everybody has a gun. Right. So it's It's probably true though. It's actually a probably true thing. Another thing is like let's compare the U.S. to Europe. In Europe, you can't even have a gun legally. Like, you got to have a hunting license. And there's so many ticks. The only people really with guns are going to be, like, even high caliber. So, let's take London, for example. London, you can't get it. It's hard to get a gun on the street. So, the cops and the feds are the ones who really have guns like that. Just, for example, like Germany, you have to sit through a 2-week course just to even have a shotgun. This is a hunting rifle. So, low capacity, 10 rounds, if that. So, you have to... and it's expensive. It's not cheap. It's not like, I'm going to pay a couple $100. We're talking like $1,500 for a license, stuff like that. A big issue really is mental health, because it's like a lot of people can get a gun. Like, you can still go to certain Walmarts and walk in and get a gun. The background check laws have changed with a lot of states. Really, the big thing is America just in general is violent. If you take guns... is really like, you take guns off the street, is it really going to decrease the violence? In my opinion, it's not, because people are just going to find other tools. Like the UK, they literally throw acid on people. They started ordering off Amazon, all these other websites from throwing acids, and they're huge on knife crimes. They're literally notorious for stabbings. And then you look at all these other countries where people, it's not easy to get a gun, but people still find ways to get it. So it's just going to blow up the black market. There's a lot of things that could change with laws, like the constitutional right is to have a gun is a thing, which I believe in. But I mean, to me, it's really more of a mental health thing, and just, should you really be controlling guns or not really controlling people, but just having people that are informed about guns? It's like, so it's a twofold question. It's like, I'm kind of in the middle. Some stances I'm more conservative or liberal, however you want to say it, if you want to use those terms. But it's really it's a wide open thing. It's a lot to get into, so let's get into it, man.
Juice Man, go ahead. What you got?
On guns?
Yeah.
That's a good question. On guns. Man. I really, because you talk about the Constitution, and you talk about bear arms, and you talk about the right to vote, and you talk about the right, freedom of speech. It's a lot of stuff in the Constitution. It's all good until it doesn't go the way of the government.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like everything's all good until, you know what, government? I'm tired of y'all stealing our money. Because we paying y'all all this money in taxes, but yet I don't get enough money back after I pay you my taxes, and my road is still jacked up, and it's tearing up my car, and you know it's a slippery slope. So when it just comes to that type of stuff, it's just the world is crazy. This is a crazy world.
TJ, you want to jump in?
Man, I'll be honest with you. It's a hard place to start because I mean, a lot of people want to put laws and regulations on what you can and can't have. Then you got the other side who's like, you know, you got your Second Amendment, right to bear arms, which I agree with. I mean, should you have a handgun or let's ban AR-15s? I mean, right now that's the biggest talk is your AR-15s. Like, should they be allowed? Should they be banned? Like, what is it? High capacity? Well, what are we calling high capacity rounds? You know what I'm saying? It's really where do you start? Because at the end of the day, like you said, people are evil. So you take away guns, people are going to still find ways to do evil things to other people. I know it's a saying that gets said a lot, but look back at Adam and Eve. All right, you had Cain and Abel. He didn't have a gun. He still found a way to kill. You know what I'm saying?
Bashed him in the head with a rock.
Yeah, I mean, so
Rock.
go back to the Stone Ages. So to me, myself, I'm for owning a gun. I have multiple guns. I think the biggest thing is teaching your kids gun safety. I got a 4-year-old about to be 5. I got him a little Red Ryder BB gun. Already teaching him basics on gun safety. Don't ever put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. Don't point it at anybody. That's the biggest thing. Always keep it on safety. You got a little safety on it. And he knows keeping my gun pointed downrange and all that. Then you get into the mental health part. That's a huge ordeal in America right now is mental health. It's just one thing after another.
Road rage.
Yeah, I mean, something.
You cut me off. Yeah. Chopper's going off.
Exactly, man. I mean, so you got people who just don't, who aren't patient anymore, who don't care.
Go ahead, keep going.
So I mean, like I said, it's hard to pinpoint where to put legislation on these gun laws.
Yeah, so and then it's like you're speaking about the high capacity. It's like, what is high capacity? Are we talking like 30 rounds? Because that's a regular clip, you know, regular magazine for AR-15.
Yeah, that's about standard what you have. And I mean, and we talk about AR-15. A lot of people have the misconception what AR stands for, assault rifle, and that's not true at all.
Armalite.
That's right. It's Armalite rifle. That was the company that first branded it, and the name stuck with it. I mean,
Hey, so C's and TJ, not to cut you off, TJ.
no, you good.
As someone that's don't really know too much about guns, what exactly is an assault rifle?
An assault rifle is more of, to me, what your military would use. That is a fully automatic or a burst shot when you shoot. When you pull the trigger, you either get 3 bullets that come out, or if you hold that bad boy back, you let it ride. Spray and pray.
Yeah, but it's a humanitarian gun. So if I kill you with my AR, that's a humanitarian bullet meant to kill you. I didn't want you to suffer. I wanted you to die right then. Now die.
Eliminate the threat,
yeah.
basically.
But then you got a 306. So what is it? 30-06.
Yep.
That bullet huge.
And then like, what's to say somebody goes in? Okay, this guy has a fully automatic weapon, but this guy goes and gets
The 50 caliber bullet.
you know, a 308 or 300 blackout. He's walking around the neighborhood. He's only got 30 bullets, but he's got side pouches and he's pulling out. Oh, I'm gonna blow a hole in anything that comes for me. Boom, kill a bear. Boom, kill a deer. Boom, kill a moose.
Hey, so I have a question for Drea, as the only woman at the table, also someone that lives in a bigger city, how do you feel about guns? You know, like you being a woman, I'm pretty sure you might have a perspective of it
Absolutely.
protecting having safety, as well as you live in a larger city where crime is more rampant.
So that's exactly what I was gonna say because I'm seeing more of my female friends go and make sure they take gun class so they can purchase a gun, and it's become a lot of conversation. Like even in more religious sectors, like they're starting to have security on their premises. At our church, we have security on our premises, right? Also, a lot of people are starting to teach classes for women's safety as far as self-defense, tasers. You know, now if you go to a flea market or something, they have a whole little kit, you know, a key ring with all kind of little stuff on it. But just being able to have knowledge of how to use a gun, when to use the gun, and feel comfortable with it, I think as a woman is a big deal. It's becoming a really big deal.
Yeah, I think women, kids, and men should be able to have guns if they want to. But I wanted to touch on the mental health part that C's and TJ said, because it's like a lot of times when there's a lot of mass shooting, they always say, "Oh, this person was mentally unavailable, or he had some kind of mental health issues, and he shouldn't have been able to buy a gun." But how are you going to tell a person not just because they're mental health issues not able to buy a gun when they have medicines and stuff for that? So I'm trying to figure out like how when they say mentally sick people or mentally disabled or not disabled but just mental health, they shouldn't be able to buy guns. Like how would they regulate that? Like I'm trying to.
Well, if you have mental health issues, you don't supposed to buy a gun. You don't supposed to be able to buy a gun. But I'll tell you like this.
Post PTSD is a mental health
Yeah.
diagnosis.
Yeah,
so
you can't buy a gun.
You know, people can buy guns with PTSD.
No, you can't.
Yes, you
If you're
can.
diagnosed with PTSD, you can't have a gun.
Yes, you can.
It
No,
varies.
you
It
can't.
varies. It does vary.
No, you
So
can't.
that's the diagnosis.
No, you can't.
It's what they classify you as.
Because
you can't.
when you go to a gunshot doesn't know your mental health diagnosis.
There you go. But this is what we saying. Road rage.
That's a big issue.
Pull up on me. Cut me off.
So
But not
You
just-
have no mental issues. You got a gun. Somebody cut you off. They cussing you out. They pull out a tone. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
So it's like a really good like segue into like the next conversation with guns I want to talk about.
Soccer mom cut you off. She got the chopper. What's up? What you gonna
You
do?
got mom in a minivan shooting everything up, or UPS man, FedEx dropping your door
Maybe
off.
fed
Get
up.
out! Get out of my yard! What you doing on my yard? You take it, or you think
That's not
somebody's
mental health though.
Yes, it
It could.
They cracked. They had a
No,
breaking
that's you
moment.
can't control your damn emotions.
but it's real bad. But
Slap
my man,
mental- wait, we gotta stop slapping mental health on shit and start holding people
Facts.
accountable for being
Facts.
hot ass mess. Everything ain't mental health. Sometimes little baby didn't get their ass beat when they was little, and now they acting out in the world because they don't think that there's anything wrong. Everything ain't mental health. Common sense will tell you not to roll. What's the difference between our generation and our parents' generation? They didn't have that much road rage back then.
They knew there was consequences.
Yeah, you just didn't talk to people all kind of ways. These people don't give no damns at this point.
I mean, for instance, not to cut you off, but like my dad said, when he was little, something as simple as riding the bus home from school, if him and somebody else had beef on the bus driver would pull the bus over, stop on the side of the road,
Right.
let the kids fight, but wasn't no, let me go home to mom and dad's and get my gun and let's settle this later. Because no, we're going to settle it here and now. And then whoever won, and that was the end of the beef.
Yeah, you live to fight another day.
That's right.
And we teach our kids that. This hasn't just started happening. When they started giving little kids Ritalin and shit, y'all knew this mental health thing was coming.
ADHD and ADD.
Now it's maximized with grown people that was getting Ritalin back then that didn't know how to control their emotions. Y'all
Yeah,
know
so
that
every kid has, well, if they have some kind of behavior problems, they take them to the doctor and they get they label ADHD. And then they had any kind of problems growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Like most foster kids, they have PTSD. They're saying they have PTSD, they have ADHD. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not even to take away from the people that do have those diseases.
Yeah.
But you can't, the same way it's hard for you to classify that person to be eligible for a gun, you can't even really classify if that person has that unless they're being seen.
Mhm.
So I feel like you probably could buy one with PTSD.
No, you can't. If you've been diagnosed with
But if-
PTSD, you cannot have a gun.
But most times when soldiers go and start getting treatment for PTSD, they're being seen by someone, right?
Yes.
So
and
I
they
think
can't
they
buy
be
a gun.
They be placed based off of classification.
They no longer can buy a gun. Period. It's over with.
I will say this, man. Like as I sit here and I look at the table, like as we have like I want to say half the room is people who basically was trained with firearms for a living, and then the other half of the room is people who have firearms. This is a very difficult conversation because on one hand, people do need do need to be able to protect themselves. If you have a family, wife, kids, or whatever, you should have a gun in the house so you protect your family. But on the other hand, we do have to find ways to people who are mentally disturbed, where they just can't get a gun willy-nilly, where people who have a history of violence shouldn't be able to just get a gun willy-nilly.
They can't.
And that's
But
The black market's always
even
open.
if you put
There you
these
go.
laws in place, some of the issues is it's like the war on drugs. Some of the issues is, man, there's plenty of people. I was at a party not so long ago. There was people who had guns legally and people who didn't have guns legally.
That's very true.
So a lot of people can still get access to guns. So the real question is, how do we just, one, stop that illegal access of guns?
It's gonna be hard.
You can't. TJ, don't be shaking your head. Let them know. You can't.
No, man.
I 3D that shit.
Hey, look, it's a,
3D print that motherfucker.
yeah, I was about to say
That's-
if somebody, and this is me, law-abiding citizen, if you tell me I can't buy a gun, guns are illegal. If I can't buy it in the store, I'm going to the parking lot. I mean, I'm gonna find it in
And
the
that's
parking
the
lot.
issue. How do we stop that? Like, it's like drugs. Like
You
we
ain't
we
stop them from
we
doing
can't stop them
drugs.
from dealing drugs. And the second is, how do we change the hearts of people to not be so quick? Because we was talking on the podcast episodes ago, for those who've been listening to the podcast, about a middle school fight club. How do we get to a point where it's like, I got beef with someone and I'm just going to, fight them fist to fist. I'm not going to be quick to just grab a gun because I'm angry at this person.
Have you seen
There's
people trying to fight these days?
consequences. There's consequences with everything.
And then there's another question.
But that's not a
These
new topic.
schools, these army bases, these hospitals, some of these places that they're not allowed to have armed security. I don't know all the places, but there are some places where they don't really have armed security like that. Or some of the workers themselves, me and MJ was talking, like you're someone like him who owns a gun, he's not allowed to bring his gun into the facility for obvious reasons. But they don't have armed security. But if someone decides to come shoot the place up, he can't protect himself.
He can't.
So
And he will get
Should
fired
we
if
look
he had the
into-
gun on him.
teachers, people who work in plants, should we look into people who own guns legally, being able to have their firearms on their person in case something happens? Or should we at least be like, if you can't have your firearm,
You trying to have the wild, wild west.
I'm telling you,
well,
bro.
if you can't have the firearm, the other alternative is then we need to have a certain amount of security. Like some of these places, like certain plants, you have to have armed security.
Yeah, like
So maybe at
certain
certain places you
places.
have to have armed security
Yes, certain
in case
places.
something happens.
Yeah, certain
That's
places will have, if they need security, they will have security. Some places don't need security. You know what I'm saying?
They want you to take the bullet.
Uh,
But
They don't got enough. You don't even got enough employees at Walmart, my nigga. Where they getting these extra people from that's gonna be security?
I mean, that's part of the issue is like trying to figure out like how do we protect these areas that are getting shot up on a monthly basis. Like just this year, we've had 3 mass shootings or whatever. We've had a school get shot up.
it's been more than that, man.
So
There's
that's-
a
is it
school
really
shooting
a-
every couple hours.
But is it really a conversation of not wanting us to have access to guns, or is it now the conversation that you don't have enough people protecting your community?
I mean, that's really the question. That's why I posed it to C's and TJ early in the
That's how
topic.
games.
Is it less guns? Is it more guns? Are we in the middle? Like, how do we actually stop some of this gun violence from happening?
And that's the reason. Like that's the reason why we have gangs. You know, gangs used to be a good thing. Crips and Bloods are really to protect the street that the police couldn't get to. You understand that?
I mean, that's true. The Black Panthers started off and they was teaching people gun rights, and I'm pretty sure Caesar knows this. There was an incident in California back in the day where they basically, it was like 50 of them went to, I want to say, the state capitol or whatever, where their lawmakers are, and they basically all had their guns because it was legal at the time. And less than a month later, Caesar, they changed the laws where they couldn't do that no more. So, a lot of times, If you want the laws to change with guns, bro, hey, black people just arm yourselves with guns and that change the laws real quick.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I ain't black. I go by white. Do not refer to me as a black man. When you see me walking the street,
Hey, see, we got a transformer.
yes. You see me walking the street,
Transformer in the sky.
yes, transracial. I'm transracial. When you see me walking in the street, you better approach me like a Caucasian, or you will get backslapped.
All right, so I got several questions to pose. So you're talking about places that have guns. So, like for example, I can personally talk about this. Me and OJ can talk, or Juice Man can talk about this. On a military installation, the only people that are actively walking around with guns are going to be your MPs, and maybe if you work in like a vault, like the gun arms, like the arms.
If you mess around and have a bullet in your rifle,
like
on post, that's a federal charge. They Leavenworth, nigga.
Federal charges.
Excuse me, I can't be saying that word. Hey, Lord forgive me. If you get caught with a bullet in your gun, you going to Leavenworth. You get federal jail. Like, you going down. You know what I'm saying? The only person, like you say, MPs. That's it.
MPs. So those are actually
Even if it's an accident. Oh, he was at the range and I had a bullet left.
I left my gun in my car.
And then the thing went off. You know what I'm saying? Guess what?
Well, you can expect
You
that.
going down.
You can't even drive more than 40 miles per hour on that.
25. Let's get it right. 25.
God.
So there's that. There's like a lot of people, especially in Georgia. So when I was stationed down in Moody, you know, there was coworkers who would leave his gun in his car, knowing you're not supposed to be on base with it. So basically, you're supposed to announce it, hand it over to the armory. Every time you want to go get it, you got to go to the armory, get written consent from the commander saying, hey, yes, this person is allowed to have this weapon. So we pose a question. Okay, so let's say we had an active shooter on base. It happened at Fort Hood.
Mhm.
If probably could have prevented a lot of deaths if the regular, like, let's say it's a guy who works in the office. He's MOS or AFSC or rating that he doesn't carry guns on a normal basis, you know, when he goes down range or does certain duties. His everyday job, he's sitting in the office. This guy, Sergeant so-and-so or Jim Bob at plant such and such, doesn't really need a gun most of the time, but he decides, he gets angry, wants to come back and start shooting people at the job or at the grocery store or something. Yes, somebody else could have said, okay, you could stop the situation, but then when the feds come in, the cops, they're going to see a person with a gun and automatically think, oh, he's the shooter. So that's a liability there. It's like, you don't know who's the actual attacker. So that's why I don't agree with everybody having guns. And then, like, would you want so the people who have kids, whether they're grown or, you know, still little now, would you be comfortable with the teacher having a gun?
No, absolutely not. I'll say that right now. I mean, y'all probably account like some of the times y'all have teachers who are not mentally stable to carry a gun at all.
Road rage.
You mean like Mr. Crocker from Fairly Odd Pants? Yeah, not thinking at all.
Well, so I mean, I personally would not agree. I mean, I can only speak for where I grew, where I went to school, Burke County.
Go Bears.
The sheriff absorbed the resource officers. So now, Burke County games, Friday night, even after the games, we were leaving the game last night. There's a cop at every gas station to make sure that nothing broke out. I couldn't count on my hands and feet how many cops were actually at the game.
Man, he's just doing that because his ass on fire.
Well, I ain't gonna get into that. That's another story for another day.
All right.
But I mean, for that, and I can say now that my son started school, he's in school now. Dropping him off, picking him up. There's officers posted all around the school, the exits and everything. So it's not like I feel uncomfortable with somebody coming into the school. But at the same time, me and Levert's talked about this before. You got to have a budget to be able to do things like that. And if you don't have a school that has a budget, then your schools are going to be susceptible to getting attacked like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing is, like, let's say at a job, like you work an office job or you work at a plant or somewhere, it's like, I respect, you know, some certain states like are the Wild West. It's like Texas, Florida, you know, you have everybody just walks around with a gun, open carry. I don't
Georgia's
think.
got that now too.
Yeah, I don't think right, and that's the thing that just changes. Like open carries, there's goods and there's bads to it. It's just like
I was about to say it's a double-edged sword because Georgia was an open carry, but now they just passed last year, if I'm not mistaken, concealed carry. So Levert doesn't have to apply for a concealed carry. You don't have to apply for a concealed carry. If you want a concealed carry, you can. So now what that does is if somebody's a criminal and has a gun, they have the right.
You don't know if they.
That's right. They have the full-on right to go out and carry a gun and then go commit a crime. Now, it depends on how you look at it. If you still have to apply to get a concealed carry permit and you are carrying unlawfully, you commit a crime, well, there goes another charge to your rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword because for some people it's good, for some people it's bad. Me personally, I like South Carolina's laws. You have to actually go through a course. There's a written part, and then you have to take a range. You go to the range. And if the instructor feels like you're not fit to conceal carry, he will deny you right there. That, hey, I don't see you fit to be able to carry a weapon.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into it's a double-edged sword. It's like it's one of those topics we might have to do a part 2 on it because it opens up a lot of politically, mental health. You know, who should carry, what's high capacity. Then
That's right.
Recently the ATF they had the whole thing with the stamps.
I was about to say, now you're getting into, Levert's been in my house. He shot my AR before. I built an AR. It's something I enjoy doing. But now you're going into a whole nother thing of now you're just law-abiding citizens are now felons because they have what they deem as a pistol brace. If you don't get your tax stamp on your pistol brace, you're now a felon.
Yeah, and we're talking about a simple piece of metal or plastic that attaches to the end of the gun.
That's honestly no different than what they consider a stock. You get into these semantics of how you want to play the game and just little things on. If I put a stock on something that's shorter than 16 inches, now it's considered a short barrel rifle or SBR, stuff like that.
So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna try to
Hold
wrap.
on, real quick.
Go ahead, man.
If you have alcohol in your system and you shoot somebody or hit somebody in your car, no matter if you're in the right, guess what? You're wrong. You will be charged to the full extent of the law. So that got nothing to do with mental health. That got nothing to do with who has the right to have the gun. It's you have liquor in your system, guess what? You wrong. So we really need to think about, what's up with it? We can't drink no more. We can't drink no more. What's really good? What's really good with that?
Drink and shoot somebody.
Yeah, the gun topics are like a lot of issues in America today. There's the left side, the right side, the wrong side, the right side. A lot of it's in the middle. And truthfully, man, at the end of the day, go ahead and vote. Whatever you believe on it, go and vote on it. This is a long topic. We could talk on this for days, to be honest, because there's so many different ways to move on it. But speaking of movement,
Before you head on, you say vote on it. Now, I just want to use this as an example. If you look at Canada, and I've spoke with you briefly about this. In Canada, you used to be able to carry your gun. All right. 2020, they introduced a law basically putting restrictions on AR-15s. 2022, if I'm not mistaken, full-on restrictions on AR-15s. You can no longer have an AR-15. By this year, I think it was March or April of this year, you can no longer purchase a handgun in Canada. So once you start voting those simple things into effect, then you can start having your own people that's got these higher positions to start working their agenda. And if they don't want guns in this country, then guess what?
You won't have guns.
Just because of a simple vote. So I do encourage anybody that's listening, anybody in general, make sure you study up on things like this.
hey, man, an informed voter is a powerful voter, man. And moving on, TNT.
Dynamite.
Boom.
Man, speaking of deaths and stuff like that, we was talking about how it's more than one way for people to just pass on from this world. In Maui, there was a huge wildfire that ran rampant. Seas, break this down a little bit.
Basically, there was a wildfire that started on the Hawaiian island of Maui, one of the smaller islands. Really did a lot of damage. They had kids off of school. Parents were at work. Kids were at home. that day. So the death tolls are still being rounded up. Last I checked, it was like 100 to like 110, and now, not to get too political, they're giving. You've seen how much money they're giving Ukraine. They're literally giving Maui residents $700. And then, just not to get into racial stuff too much though, most of the people's houses that were damaged were Hawaiian natives. And then there was a lot of people, non-locals, non-natives. People were still visiting the island, surfing and kayaking and hiking and doing all this other stuff. Still coming to the island, flying in, having their little vacations while people are literally dealing with burned houses and deaths and damage to their houses. But I mean, tears for that though, man.
Hey, yo, man, I got tears. Anytime something tragic happens, man, I got tears, man. I love Lilo and Stitch, man. So I hope they doing good, man. Tears, man, tears.
Correct.
It's definitely tears because I feel like, I mean, y'all not surprised by this. We do the same thing when we go to Jamaica or the Bahamas. When people are not living good, we're going over there to have a good time. You ain't a bit more thought about them people than the man in the moon. It's a good resort over there. And it's terrible, but we got to be honest. It's a lot of tears, but I'm not surprised. I think that, you know, if you watch a couple of them property shows online, like, or on TV, there's a couple of good rich people that go and purposely buy them properties just to go to vacation to, right? So it's not like the money is not there to help them. And it kind of sucks that it's going on like that for them.
And we're literally talking about them getting $700 versus where Ukraine got a couple billion.
Right.
Plus, they're able to come into the country and collect welfare and this other stuff. While you got American citizens, Hawaii's a state, getting $700 for, you know, just that settlement.
Yeah, I got tears for the situation, and also because people are coming in, like you're saying, people are coming in at the resorts and still swimming and surfing and all that stuff. But people like investors are coming in and offering the people that their houses burnt down and their land, they're like pennies on the dollar trying to buy their land from them, and they're and some people are selling it, and that's I guess they're like sharking them. I guess that's what, I don't know what it's called, but they're coming in, they're buying up the land that's burnt up, and they go to rebuild on it, and then all those people that sold there, I don't know where they're gonna go to, but they're preying on the weak right now too. So I got tears for that situation.
Can I come in?
Yeah, Juice, man, go on, tell us what you think, man.
As long as you don't scream in the mic, go ahead.
You already know what's going on.
Conspiracy. Let's get
It's no conspiracy. It's not a problem.
Tears or no tears?
Okay, would you have tears if they were black?
Tears or no tears, Juice,
Yes, I would.
What? How would I have tears?
That's
I personally would.
You
Tears
live on
or
a
no tears?
volcano. You live on a volcano. Volcanoes are rough. How can I?
So,
What?
you say just Mother Nature
There you go.
and the doggy dog world and the cycle of evolution and just
Hey.
happen again.
We're not going there. Okay, they do more subject. We're not going there.
Now, I agree with you to a certain extent. I got tears anytime somebody loses their life. Obviously, that's a sad moment. But at the same time, let's take it back to like Tennessee a few years ago when they
We're
were
going to
trying
rebuild.
Nature's just doing what nature's supposed to do, you know? So, obviously, yeah, somebody loses their life. That's sad. But at the same time, if I don't know the whole depths of it, but if a volcano started it, I mean, you know what you're signing up for when you live there. It's a volcano starting a fire. Mother Nature's just doing her thing.
There's a lot of speculation on what really started the wildfires because I don't think Maui has
Yeah, they didn't say a volcano
an
started.
active volcano. So
So
the island of specific to the island of Maui doesn't have
The
active
wind took
volcano.
it, bro. The
So
volcano
you're
erupted. It
trying to
shoots up.
Yes, that's
It
exactly what
shoots.
it is.
It shoots up in the air.
Yes.
The
But
the
that's
wind
exactly
blows
what it
That's
it.
what people are saying that because they said somebody started it intentionally. Then
Yeah,
they're coming and
volcano.
buying up all the stuff after they set the fires.
What does it
and stuff
sound
that.
like, y'all?
on
Y'all,
American soil.
Epstein
what,
Island
like
Part
this,
2.
what does this sound like? You're not. It's called gentrification. What does it sound like?
That's exactly
Hawaii is
Exactly what it
expensive.
is.
It's like LA. It's like New York.
But that's what I said. Think about it. When I'm going on a cruise.
If this was
and I
black,
go,
we wouldn't be
I'm
betting a fucking bribe.
I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I can't save them people life. Like, I'm going over there for a vacation.
You know,
That's-
And
but
they
that's
can't
not
help
the
that
goal.
other
Everything.
people have gone over there and established themselves.
That don't mean you go there and buy
That's
the
not-
houses
Why
that's
not?
burnt up.
If I had it, I would.
Why
That's
not?
where Oprah. You know how many houses Oprah got?
Here, put it like this. Okay. She can move over there, 50,000, buy like a $1 million house in the U.S. Who want to do that shit?
All right.
I got a fucking $1 million house in the Bahamas
And then,
for 50,000.
and then Carl, the next time you and your
Come on,
friend
come
want to
on.
come somewhere,
Just
your
shoot me a
friend
little
got
bit of bread.
property somewhere.
Yeah, just show me a little bit of bread. Just show me like 200,
Hey, man,
and you
you-
in $1 million house if you
Don't-
was in the States. Come
Don't
on,
knock the
man.
player. And the game don't change. It's evolution. It's just the same thing, just in a different format.
Hey, speaking of people passing on, Magoo, rapper and collaborator with Timbaland,
R.I.P.
he passed on. I got tears, man. We celebrate 50 years of hip hop, man. I got tears, man. Anytime someone passes away, man. See,
Man, rest in peace, man. That's a Virginia legend. Tidewater, Newport News. Timbaland, he wasn't really active in the later years with Timbaland. They didn't really talk that much, but if you go back to a lot of that early 2000s, late 90s, he was in that, around Aaliyah and Missy and Pharrell. He was really influential with that. But rest in peace, man. Underrated legend. So that's all I got.
TJ, tears, no tears.
I'm gonna say tears, man. I'm gonna say tears. Like I said, going back to the last, anytime somebody passes away, it's obviously upsetting. I don't personally have any connections to that person, so I can't really get really emotional. But I'm gonna go tears with this.
Dre, tears and no tears.
It's tears for me, but admittedly, I'm pretty much like TJ. Like, I remember Magoo. I remember listening to music and not really fully understanding it was his voice that I was hearing. So, I don't know. I guess I was kind of in and out of listening to music as much as I thought I was at that time period. But always tears, man. Sad to see another legend go down, man.
Yeah, I ain't got no tears, but I ain't gonna call him a legend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I ain't got no tears. Like you say, people die every day. You be all right. But
tough, right?
yeah, you tough, right? You know what I'm saying? But the reason I ain't got no tears because people always say, "Oh yeah, he passed away. This person passed away." Like I want to hear the whole story. Like what? Because he was still pretty young. So like, what happened? How you passed
Oh,
away?
damn, you trying to say he was on drugs or something?
Hey man, a lot of people been on that dope lady. That fentanyl been killing people, taking people out. So
Moving that dope.
yeah. So I don't know, man. People die every day. He'll be all right.
So how you feel? Same topic, celebrities' deaths. Like,
Yeah, 'cause I don't know them folks. They ain't did nothing to me. They ain't put no money in my pocket.
Hey man, speaking of celebrities, man, Trump got a RICO charge. Yeah, man, I ain't got no tears. It's crazy though, because when I watch the media though, apparently he getting even more popular. Like, I mean, excuse my language, bro. He like one of them nigga rappers, bro. Like, you getting more popular getting arrested.
good.
Bruh.
So like, it's like he finna sell an album, and they saying that he gonna be the president again just because he got arrested for all this. So I don't know what's going on.
So being arrested is like getting shot as a rapper.
That's what they saying. That's what they saying, bro. Look at the polls. They saying Trump gonna beat all these Republicans that's got the primary.
Y'all gotta realize Trump been running for the president since the 80s. He began 25% of the vote as an independent. Okay, y'all gotta understand. Can y'all do math? As an independent, he been getting 25% of the vote since the 80s. He chose to go Republican, so now he got 75% of the vote. That's dead. But what I like about Trump is, bruh, did you know he paid for the lawyer for the dude that hit the woman with the chip?
Why y'all think he did that? Of course
My dude.
Of course he did.
You got cool points for that one.
So
Okay.
so tears and no tears.
Man, you know, I
You always try to jump on the. You got tears, no tears, Jay.
no tears for what? Tears, no tears for
So
what?
Trump have RICO charges.
You got to think. Well, you got to think. Well, you always pushing.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to push because I can't do it. I'm confused.
I don't have no damn tears. Y'all know I don't give no fuck. I don't have no tears, okay? I will say it looked like a modern reverse side of Nino Brown. Think about that shit. Think about it. It looked like a reverse of Nino Brown. You said his popularity. Them people
So
was
Trump,
really...
Trump at the Carter.
Yeah.
He gonna turn the White House into the Carter.
And so Trump
Yeah.
saying, hey, this bigger than me.
Yeah, I'm
It's
saying
the whole system.
I got everybody.
That's right.
So So that's why that coat was found in the White House.
No, it was his.
Nah.
I ain't got no tears, but I wanted because also read something today that Brian Kemp said he's gonna testify against him.
Against his boy.
But he loved Georgia. Kemp, hey, I'm sorry, but yo,
Hey, Kemp, where that money at?
Yeah, I'm still looking
he
for
got
it.
points. He got points for that one. I might have to vote for him again.
This is the new Jackson.
Yeah,
No, they don't give a damn.
They said Brian
This is
Kemp's gonna
Gunna and Young
testify against
Thug.
him.
Am I my brother's keeper?
I'm gonna go no tears, man. Trump's got his own mess he's got to deal with. No tears at all. He's an idiot.
No shit, but goddamn, you gotta love him. He
He
goddamn.
is comical though. He just can't be leaving our country. He gonna have to do that shit from the sideline. Trying to get us blown the fuck
So it's
up.
pretty much unanimous, no tears, man. It's kind of funny because it's not federal charges. It's not federal charges. This is literally the state of Georgia
Yeah.
and Fulton County saying,
I'm about to say, is anybody gonna talk about the DA? He said Trump said that the reason you did this to me because you was messing with the dude that got killed in the YSL.
He said that for real?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know he get that dirt. He got paper. He got things
Hey,
on
I ain't
everybody.
gonna lie, man. I swear Trump got
King
dirt
Kong.
on everybody
Ain't got
in
shit on me.
Hollywood and in politics.
yeah, it's no tears, man. But it's kind of funny how the state of Georgia, the feds said they're trying to do something, but they got their own thing going on. But the state of Georgia was the first ones that actually come out and draw charges and do what they're doing. But
Listen, the person that come out with his documentary when this shit is all said and done, that shit gonna be the most watched documentary. I don't even like it.
Netflix will buy it.
And I watch that shit. And
200 million.
if they make it a little comical, put a little comic in it, make his ass like the Wolf of Wall Street.
So who? That's gonna be the only fans watching. You gonna be the only fan watching, ain't you?
You gonna watch that shit too. You ain't gonna want to know how he got away with all of this.
Hey man, speaking of OnlyFans, Pinky Doll. For those who know Pinky Doll, she got an OnlyFans. She be on TikTok doing these crazy TikToks where mustaches pop up on her and she be saying weird voices. Apparently, people are taking her OnlyFans content, put it on Google, which I'm gonna be real, bitch, you ain't the only one. They're doing that to a lot of y'all. But she's getting mad to my she's gonna sue and everything. Hey TJ, as someone that I know that does not frequent on OnlyFans, tears or no tears?
No tears, man. If you're gonna put yourself out there like that, I mean, you might as well be a prostitute. I mean, you're just a virtual prostitute, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean-
money ever made.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, Pepsi.
you can't get mad at somebody for exposing you when you're putting yourself out there like that.
I was gonna say, how does that work?
I can see.
To my OnlyFans?
No, I'm not. So she's a. She
Or
should be
being a
taking it
prostitute?
as- First off, is this the woman? Because I always thought it was a man. That's a
No,
woman.
Pinky Doll's a woman.
Okay. She should be taking it as a compliment because it's making her more famous. So I don't understand. Ain't that what the whole point of OnlyFans
Nah,
is?
it's to get money because people gotta pay to watch you suck dick.
Oh, so you giving away her free pornos.
Yeah,
She feeling
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, shit. I'm mad.
She gotta make more pornos then.
So you got tears for her, Dre?
No, I don't have no tears for her shit. She pay her bills, I pay mine.
Man, I ain't got no tips for her, man. Hey, do what them hoes did back in the day, man. Go on the street, find a nigga, walk up to a car, and say, I got pussy for the 40.
That's only on Fridays though.
Oh, my bad. It's Friday night. It's a special pussy for the 40.
No
The
way.
rest of the
Special.
week, it's pussy for the 60. For the 60. I need 3 20s to fold up and hand to this lady. Somebody give me 3 20s. What's up, Steve?
hey, man, it's no tears, man. It's like once you put yourself and your stuff on the internet, it's out there. And she's not the only one. There's a bunch of leaks. You know, people post it for free. People will take pictures, screenshots, repost it, share it on Google. Who she gonna sue? No tears, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who she goes to too. Yeah, I ain't got no tears for her. I don't even know who she is. I know I seen the story, but I don't even know who she is. You know what I'm saying? I just read the story. I didn't hear her.
Exactly. Gotta step the coochie up. Gotta do more porn, shawty.
Yeah.
Do more porn. Get more viewers. You get more money. That's how it works.
Yeah, you should go holler at Jason
Love,
Love,
stepped
right?
all in, man. You can't step that coochie up no
Hey,
more.
if
Jason
it's
Love,
her prime
yeah, put
product, she need to go she need to take her ass to a marketing class and figure out how to get her money.
Hey, man. Speaking of being fans, Jay-Z, who's been on most of these top 50 hip hop list has been voted number 1. But we all can say it's definitely top 5. Apparently, New York did their little top 50 rappers, and they had a little thing at Yankee Stadium last week. He didn't show. And a lot of other prominent rappers like Timbaland and other people have been saying that for Jay-Z to be one of the most prominent people in hip hop, he apparently hasn't been showing up to a lot of these top 50 anniversary, events they've been throwing all year, man.
You know why?
Hey, Rose, tears or no tears?
I ain't got no tears for Jay-Z. But the reason why he ain't showing up because he don't believe he hip hop. he think he bigger than that.
He making money.
Him and Beyonce think they ain't even artists no more. They think they gods.
What production
They sit on the queen of the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying?
God,
throw the rock up. You know what I'm saying?
Business. Listen, it's business. Look, she making money right now. That's his shit. Don't get it twisted. She's earning her money as an artist, but that is being backed by his money. I'm following your ass to every state. I'm gonna make sure all of this shit run like it's supposed to do. Come on.
Sound like pimping to me.
But she happy though.
He's $3 million now, so hey, it is what it is.
Man, no tears for it, man. Jay, this is the same man who said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Preach!
So
Who did it better than Trump? Y'all better get with it. Y'all missing it.
but at the same time, this man's opening up museums. He literally has a new museum in Brooklyn, with his, hip hop.
Is he gonna have
Say
another
it one
40
more
40s?
time. He's not
I
a
know they said
businessman.
they closed the one in Manhattan.
Matter of fact, they're trying to open up another club in New York City. But I mean, this man's literally going to art shows in Europe and doing all this other stuff on tour with his wife. So it's like if somebody
front
does
stage, him and the baby girl, his wife and the baby girl dancing on stage. He front stage.
So it's like
He's right there. Get it. No worries.
And then he's probably gonna trump it up to. No pun intended. He's gonna trump it up to. Hey, I'm doing my business. I've done enough of hip hop. I am hip hop.
There you go.
No, there's that argument. So no tears,
Hey,
man.
man, respectfully, fuck all that.
That's a thing.
Method Man, Nas, Lil' Kim,
What the
Nicki
fuck is
Minaj
this?
all showed up.
Man.
Jadakiss to that little thing they did at Yankee Stadium.
Ain't none of them niggas
And
running
if you ask most hip hop people who actually listen to hip hop, what rapper made the Yankees famous? Jay-Z, wearing the Yankees cap, talking about Yankees in the lyrics.
Okay.
They do a celebration in Yankee Stadium. You're considered one of the greatest rappers. This is entertainment people love. You can't come to none of the events.
Nah.
Busta Rhymes came to the events. We done seen Eminem at some of the events. Lil Wayne have been at the events. All the rappers that's in that top 10 have taken
I
time
told
out of
you.
their busy schedules
Nah.
to come to these events. Jay-Z,
He doesn't believe he's hip hop.
you all consider hip hop the only billionaire in hip hop. Yes, bro, I expect you to take 5 minutes to be like, hey, B, I know you got this little world tour going on, but I'm going to go to Yankee Stadium. I'm going to perform one bullshit little song. I'm going to wave my little Yankees cap. And
Nah.
I'm going to throw up the little rock.
Everything you just said
But-
don't even sound like something he would do.
I'm
Even in his interviews.
just saying, like,
Because you said this little bullshit ass song, he take his music too serious for all of that to begin with, so he ain't gonna go.
when they perform a serious song, but
Man.
hip hop has done two. Let's keep it real now.
He's $3 billion now, bro.
Let's keep it 100. We can applaud Jay-Z
He's not
for being a
one, not
billionaire
two. He's
and being a
three.
good businessman.
A bit.
He doesn't
now.
become a businessman without hip hop. Just like LeBron, he doesn't become a businessman and billionaire without basketball.
So
without hip hop,
You gotta listen to the
we don't
Blackout
get
album.
Jay-Z. So Jay-Z should be at least be willing to be like,
No.
hey man, it's the
Mm,
50th
No,
anniversary.
that's
You ain't heard the Blackout album. He already told you how he felt about
nobody
this.
got to be willing.
Man, I
to
see where
give
you're coming
you-
from, Bert.
Yeah.
But
What you think, TJ?
does anybody pay his bills?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, we do.
That's
Everybody,
my,
all the fans do.
That's my one question. I mean, you ain't got to buy his content. Just saying.
You can't
We
control
paid his
another-
bills for 20 years when we bought all them Jay-Z albums.
I ain't buying not one, so
You know?
I ain't pay.
I mean, he's
I
the
ain't
top
buying
5
one either.
rappers. So somebody was buying. I wasn't buying the
And
shit,
streaming them
but
down.
somebody was buying the shit.
Yeah, streaming, he's still getting paid. We still paying them.
Hey man, that's just some whole shit, man.
That's why I don't drink
But
Hennessy no more.
speaking of hoes, though, I got a question for
Do you drink Hennessy?
our 2 guests. What's wrong with these hoes?
What's wrong with him?
So how many questions you got? 1 or 2?
I lot to be honest.
But I just got one question.
What's your one
What's
question?
What's wrong with these hoes, man?
Hey man, So there was a woman on TikTok a while back. She's apparently a surgeon. She worked 13-hour shifts. She came home wearing her uniform, filmed herself cooking a full dinner for her husband. When people commented asking, why did you do that? She responded back, well, my husband expects dinner when he get home, so I cook dinner.
She black or white?
She black.
Okay.
Then there was a lot of other women who got on social media calling her pick me. For those who don't know what a pick me is, it's basically a woman that basically does and says things that men like to hear and see just to be chosen or whatever. But a lot of other black women were saying, you a pick me bitch, or, da. I would never work a 10-hour shift and come home and cook. Now, some of y'all hoes don't work and don't cook at all. But anyway,
Okay.
a lot of these hoes were saying that shit. Man, hey, I'm going to start with someone that's made at the table, man. Hey, TJ. What do you think about this woman working a 13-hour shift and coming home and cooking a full dinner for her man?
Hey, man, if that's what works for them, have at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got what works for me and my wife. I work. She stays at home. She takes care of the kids, takes care of the house, makes sure I got food in my belly. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's their prerogative.
Okay. But here's the thing. I hear what you're saying. I have a wife also. I only been married maybe almost a month, 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
But we've been together 8 years Thanksgiving. And she'll work a 12-hour shift. Not 13, she'll work a 12.
Close
But
enough.
when she get off, she does cook. And I ain't gonna lie, that's the reason why I married her. How many women you know now work 13 hours, come home and cook? And clean the house. Man, hey, that's my baby. I love you, boo.
She said that was her husband.
Yeah, so
This is her husband. This is
Okay,
her
so
husband.
it sounds like to me, bitches that saying negative shit don't got no man.
Thank
She earned the husband that she got. She making sure I don't understand. That's what you're supposed to do. You can't switch up. I think it's funny how women tell a man that he ain't supposed to switch up after a relationship, but then we as a woman would. Like, you can't just say, I'm gonna cook for you. Just like Juice Man just said, like, if his wife decides she ain't gonna be doing all of that no more, it ain't gonna be but so long before he be like, but damn, why you ain't?
Yep.
Because we do the same thing as women. If a man started off catering to you a certain way and then all of a sudden he started doing it, I'm like, well, you must be doing it for somebody else then. So I feel like she's trying to teach some bitches, and they need to be mindful of that. And I can say that because I can. But
It's coming.
at the same time, these women that look at it from that perspective, that's the reason why you ain't got one.
So basically, he's taking these hoes to school. Yeah, I feel the same way y'all feel, man. Honestly, I feel like, man, hey, man, now, I'm going to keep it real. If you both working, if y'all choose to organize the cooking, however y'all organize it, I got a homeboy, MGH, him and his wife both work long hours, and neither one cooks. So if y'all choose to do whatever y'all do, it is what it is. That's cool. But I'm going to keep it 100. If I'm working and making more than you, and you ain't working or only working
Okay,
a couple
Kiki Palmer.
hours.
Okay, Kiki Palmer.
Hey,
Okay, Kiki.
Hey,
Let's go, Kiki.
That's why that nigga finna take half and the kids. But if you ain't working or you only working a couple hours, then when I come home, man, it better be a full meal on the table, man.
If
I
you
better
was
see
smart.
steak, I better see corn, I better see peas, I better see mashed potatoes, I better see every motherfucking color. I better see my Kool-Aid, my cup full of Kool-Aid.
Let me take the chauvinist off.
This ain't
It
Britney
should be
Spears. This
reciprocal.
Kiki Palmer, bro.
Yeah.
I think it should be reciprocal
Jamal.
because if a person, any person, leaves the house and works longer and gets home later than the opposite person in a relationship,
I co-sign.
somebody got to look out for it.
Because let's flip it. If in TJ's situation, if his wife worked all the time and made all the money and he didn't work, hey, I would be the first one to be like, hey, nigga,
Women's are players.
you better get your ass in that kitchen.
Okay.
I'll be had an apron on.
Take the money out
So
of it.
if all you can do is put some
Take the
hot
money out.
dogs in the pot
Flip it.
and some Roman noodles, you better put something.
What if she go out and make less money than he do staying at the house?
What? We Instagramming now? We influencing?
I mean-
What if he like a somebody that does numbers
So
or
I will say this. So
accounting?
the money is not all of it to me. Part of it is you also not being in the house. Because if you're gone from 8 to 10, 12 hours and someone else is at home all day, unless their job at home is very taxing, because some people do work at home and it's very taxing.
Mhm.
But if it's not very taxing,
Correct.
I mean, yeah, I would probably put on a person that's in the house to actually cook. But yeah, that person should cook. Somebody should be cooking, bro. And it's not gonna be me if I've been working 12 hours and you ain't been doing shit. But if we both working like that, and I applaud this woman, because some of you hoes on Section 8, welfare, like Rose like to say, on that government cheese, and y'all don't want to cook. Y'all just want to text a nigga, I need $15 on cash
Right.
so I can get some Popeyes for me and my kids.
Bro. It's the generation now. It's not the fact they don't want to cook. They can't cook.
They don't know how to cook.
Thank you. They don't know how to
And
cook.
before I pass on to Rose, I just want to say, and that's the reason why a lot of you hoes pH balance fucked up.
Oh man. Okay. So I got to come back on with the pH balance because I got the PhD and what's wrong with these hoes. Okay. But
No, you got a PhD in pimping.
okay, but check it. I have an issue with the chick because why are you filming yourself after you're doing all this?
That would be.
She's
my
a
mom.
woman.
Like, why are you filming yourself? Like, you just work 13 hours. You ain't even go home. You ain't even go take a shower. All you did was go and wash your hands. You in the kitchen. You still got your
That's a
scrubs
side hustle.
on.
That's a side hustle. She's
Right.
probably a blogger.
So see, that's the thing about it. So if that's
There you go.
the case,
She
then
did
you're
take a
not
shower.
doing it for your husband.
There you go.
You're not doing it for your husband.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the net. You're doing it for the people.
That's right.
You're doing it for that
are those
drug.
girls correct? Were they calling her?
They might be. I don't know the lady,
No.
but why are you filming yourself? And then did you see some of the stuff that she was cooking? I'm talking about whole red snappers. I'm talking about she was in there gourmeting it up.
Blogger.
Maybe she
So-
enjoys the cooking
She a
Yeah,
blogger.
she might enjoy cooking, but why are you filming yourself and putting it on the internet?
because she getting flooded a whole snapper.
Yeah,
That's $50.
she was
How much
doing
she
it.
had?
She was doing it for the drug. She on that drug.
Attention.
She on that TikTok drug.
Somebody that gram, that
Attention.
TikTok.
She need that
Yeah, she was.
attention.
That's the reason why she was doing it. So it's not for her husband. It ain't about no love. It was for herself. It's for the attention because she wanted it, and that's probably one of the reasons why she became a surgeon too, for the attention, so she can be a person that's being looked at. She wants all eyes on her. So it's not. So I can't say that the whole thing, because anytime I say it all the time. Anytime you see something that somebody's supposed to be doing for love and it's a camera's up, it's fake. It ain't for no love. So what's wrong with that hoe? Sees.
Man, it's kind of like what's wrong with everybody, man. It's kind of like do what works for you and your household. I say it almost every episode. Stop posting shit on the internet. Stop putting every fucking thing on the internet. It's not what you do in your household is your business, but everybody wants to have all these different sectors, the manosphere and women and feminism and masculinity and all this big arguments. It's like one of the problems with this generation. It's why we have the segment. It's what's wrong with these hoes, and it goes for everybody. A man could be a hoe, a woman could be a hoe. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. If your wife wants to come home, work all those hours, and come home and cook for you, that's great for you. If you comfortable with that, or if you're not comfortable with it, tell her. Have that communication, talk back and
There you
forth.
go, there you
It's
go.
like, but yeah, just stop putting shit on.
Because like you say, man, my wife came home, or before she come home, I talk to her every break. Oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like cooking. Guess what? I got you. It ain't shit.
Yeah.
It ain't shit.
I agree with Juice, man. It should be a partnership.
It's
That
definitely
the whole relationship, whether it's someone cook, maybe I put the kids to sleep, I do this, I do that. It should be a partnership. I will say this though, man. At some point in time, man, we got to get back to old traditional values of man. We cooking meals, man. We not finna go out to
Okay,
Popeyes,
you gonna have to
Papa
start.
John's,
Y'all gonna have to
Pizza
start
Hut,
learning.
Long John Silver. No, it's a lot of men that cook, bro. I'm keep real.
There you go. There you go.
2023.
When
There
I
you go.
say y'all,
Oh.
I mean all of us.
Oh, I'm about to say,
Yeah.
because
But I mean y'all because I could cook.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
a lot of
saying.
men I know cook better than some of these hoes. Like some of my niggas, I'd rather go to their house and they cooking than go to some of the hoes that I be dropping dick off to. I'm just gonna keep it real. Hey, that's just 100. Like I'll go to Rosette house any day and have a meal. But I got some hoes in the bottom. Hey man, she cook. You better not cook me none.
I can't eat that shit.
I ain't coming for this. What more shit? What more
The
shit?
wall
Say?
moving in the
And you know why I'm here. And I ain't here for the cooking.
wall.
That shit any damn way.
Hey.
You don't need to. I need all men to realize y'all don't need to be eating every woman's food anyway. stop that. I don't know when that stopped being taught.
That's facts.
I had a guy one time make me so mad because a roommate of mine made some spaghetti.
Oh,
now
shit.
y'all know damn well as men, y'all don't eat no woman's spaghetti. This bitch
shit.
had been in the house all day talking about I don't want nobody to touch my spaghetti. And then my nigga comes over and she gives him a bowl of spaghetti. I wanted to flip that shit out of his face. Like, are you serious?
You should have.
And she put that extra sauce in that motherfucker, didn't she?
Crazy.
Extra oregano
But
and
I
all
couldn't
that.
be too mad with him because he didn't grow up in a household where they taught people that. I don't understand that. Don't men stop eating all these women cooking? They're giving you that I'm telling you.
Don't take it there, Dre.
And Dre, niggas be shocked. Let me tell you, when I see a hoe under 30 cooking, I be stunned. You can cook? They still teach y'all to cook.
No.
And so many of these hoes nowadays don't even know how to cook, bruh.
Okay.
They be hoes hitting me up saying, I'm hungry.
Okay.
I'm like, bitch, you got no food in your
No,
fridge?
no,
This
that
was
same one
Like a
that don't.
sandwich, man.
That
going
same
on?
one that don't know how to cook. The next time she asks you to go to a family gathering, please go. And find
guarantee
the
you-
one aunt that know how to cook in
And
their
I
whole
guarantee
family.
you, if she go to the family gathering, she bringing the soda pop, she bringing the plates, she bringing the
Really
forks,
can't
or if she brings some food, she bringing bags of chips or Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, that's awful.
But she ain't got no dish she cooked.
Bruh.
Hey, half these hoes nowadays ain't even got cookbooks,
This is,
bro.
my daughter, I just got my daughter out the house. I'm proud. I got my daughter out the house.
Yeah,
But does she know how to cook? Yes or no, y'all?
No.
probably
No,
not.
No. So what is she doing every time she cooking? She is what?
Uber Eats, DoorDash.
No, she FaceTiming.
Hey, go to
She asking how-
YouTube.
but
How do I cook
But at
this?
least she asking.
Yeah.
I will start there because they have technology now. You talking about cookbooks? Ain't nobody buying no.
Hey,
They don't show you everything on YouTube. They don't show you everything.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't
Yes,
show you
do.
everything. They miss out the part with a pinch of salt. They should say, "Add salt." You don't know it's a pinch of salt.
That's why it's
So
So you just
impressive.
shaking the salt in that
So,
motherfucker
I
until
would-
that shit salty as fuck. No, they don't know
And
it's
I
a
can
pinch.
say for me as a woman, I would say that I sat in the kitchen with Grammy cooking, so that changed the dynamic with me. It's like she don't measure nothing. Like she just did everything by eye. So now I can't cook by measuring. I hate looking at a recipe, but you're right. They don't because they didn't spend their time doing it. Like be truthful. Did she spend time in the kitchen cooking with her wife?
Of course not.
Yeah, they didn't find it like forms of bonding. That's a different generation
So, like I say, the last week before she moved out, she was in that bitch every day.
though.
Hey, yo, TJ, man. So how does white people measure the seasoning?
Oh! He finally said it! He finally said it!
Man, I mean, you've been in my house before, so you seen me do the ribs.
And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Dry rub.
Hey, man, I'm be honest, I'm of a different breed, I guess. I mean, I cook till it tastes good to me.
No,
Right?
it's
It ain't.
a stigma. I hate that it's associated with y'all just not seasoning. Because there's some of us that don't know how to season food either. We don't eat that shit.
We cooking for company.
But
You
I'm
can't put a
gonna
jerk on
let
everything.
y'all know. I tell everybody all the time. They said, "Oh, I went to this barbecue spot. There was a lot of white folks in there." I said, "I'm gonna tell you one thing. White folks know how to cook some meat." I said, "I was a size though."
Hey, man, I can't speak on that. I don't make the signs.
Oh, man.
Hey, what you trying
Don't
to say?
add to it, TJ. Don't add to it, my man. Don't add to it. You to the fire.
By the time I'm done, I got a full belly, so I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
All protein. He in there.
They put you in work.
Fuck potato salad. Fuck that potato salad.
Hey, y'all. So whether you married in a relationship, it is what it is, man. If y'all cool with your woman cooking, if you cool cooking, if you cool doing takeout, it's your relationship. For me and mine, if you try to cook for teasy, you hoes need to cook. Learn how to cook.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, just-
Bertizzi say, all you hoes.
I can't speak for the other single niggas at this table, but for me, hey bitch, I'm fat. You need to learn how to cook.
He went there. Wheel. He went there.
Speaking of fat niggas though, well, famous people. I know Michael Orr, the was left tackle for the Baltimore Ravens, and basically known for the movie The Blind Side. You know, when Cedric Bullock won an Oscar for. There's a lot of controversy going on. Apparently, you know, he came out recently saying that the Tua family didn't adopt him. They did something like
Conservative.
okay. And basically, they took the money from the movie, the
And
royalties and
And
everything,
the book.
and the book. And basically, he didn't get none of that. the movie made him look a lot stupider than he was. Which, if you saw the movie, and then the words of Adam Sandler from The Animal, man, that bitch looked dumb. But so he's coming out speaking on it. Now, like me and Rose was talking the other day, there's a lot of interviews I saw where he said he was homeless. But then some people have said, nah, that he wasn't homeless. And so the whole situation was confusing. The writer for the book came out, I want to say yesterday, and he basically said that basically the Tua family didn't get rich off of the movie. That basically Warner Brothers cut everyone the same amount of check. Michael Orr did get a check for $100,000, and the real criminals is Warner Brothers because the movie grossed $300 million, and they took all the money. So it's a convoluted situation, bro. It's like oil and water. You got to choose what you want to believe. C's, man, what do you believe in this situation, man? What do you think's going on with Michael Orr, The Blind Side, the Tua family, Sandra Bullock's Oscar artist?
So it really says a lot. Like anytime you have a situation where someone's telling someone underage, whether he was 18 or 17, like we were talking about the other day, we don't know at what point he was actually signed the papers, but basically he was under the impression that, you know, they had actually adopted him. Come to find out, what is it, like 20 years later, 10, 15 years later, he's come to find out they never actually adopted him. That's the most messed up part of all. It's like someone that literally told him to call him mom and dad, you know, stayed in the house, friends with the family, they kind of grew up together. So, I mean, it's, what do you want to believe and what's the actual story? It's going to come out eventually because you look at it from both sides. You got one side that said, oh, they did this to me, you know, they took all my money and they told me this was one thing, but it actually was something else. So it's like, if it is true what he's saying, it's kind of messed up on one side and it kind of leaves that impression. It's like, okay, got a black kid, great at football, or even if he was, you know, not even black and white, but just let's say it was a white kid, you got somebody being taken advantage of. It's like, this is a kid we're opening up our home to, but what for? So you're telling me you had ulterior motives for? It's like, oh, okay, this guy's finally getting, you know, he's a big football star. We can make some money on him. He's going to go to college and the NFL. Let's use this to our advantage. Meanwhile, you know, he's thinking everything's all hunky-dory and good. So it's kind of messed up, but it's on the flip side. We don't know how much money the Tua family actually made. And it's like, why did you have to use your family lawyer to really do all this? So, like, there's that aspect of it. So it's kind of a messed up situation where it's really like, who's really telling the truth? What's the whole story? Who got paid? Who didn't get paid? But from the sounds of it, it sounds like a fucked up situation where somebody wanted to make a buck off of somebody and they took advantage of them. That's hearsay here or there, man.
Yeah, man. I love the movie The Blind Side. It's one of my favorite sports movies, bro. It's top 10 for me, man. It's a movie about a black homeless kid that don't know how to read. They educate him. They teach him how to play football or football. And, you know, he becomes in the Hall of Fame. And a white lady that's attracted like Sandra Bullock takes him in. And she hugs him with her big old titties and everything. It's actually a great movie. I love the movie. Now, the real side applications, Michael Orr was actually a pretty good football player. I want to say, as someone that watches the offensive line play, I would have probably had him as a top 5 left tackle at least 3 to 5 of the years he played. You know, definitely top 10. As far as this story, man, it's crazy. Because part of it is, I hope the Tua family didn't take advantage of this individual and then try to just make money off of him and try to just adopt him or use the conservativeship clause to just try to basically have him go to, was it Tennessee or Ole Miss he went to?
I think it was Ole Miss.
Oh, have him just go to Ole Miss because that's where their family likes to, you know, have football, and then basically, now we made a book and the movie's going to come out of the book and we're going to get all this money. But I'm gonna keep it real. The first thing I asked C's was, did his NFL money get fucked up? If he got all his NFL money, long as the Tua family didn't get none of his NFL checks, none of his sponsorships, hey man, I hope he would have got paid for the Blind Side movie. I don't really care. As long as he got his NFL money, his sponsorships, That's all that really matters to me because I don't want the Tua family or anybody else to take advantage of him and get something like that he worked hard for because he signed for those who watch NFL and keep up with, especially the left tackles. When you watch the left tackles get paid, Zach Martin, center for the guard for the Dallas Cowboys, just got paid a big check. He got paid 2 big checks in the NFL, so he should be good on his money get fucked up. I'm not saying he don't deserve his money for the movie. I'm just saying I just hope his NFL money to get fucked up because that's the money that's really supposed to set him up for the rest of his life.
I mean, let's go back. Let's go back. First and foremost, these people are even talking about taking Sandra Bullock's Oscar for the movie.
And they shouldn't do that.
To me, it's fair.
No. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the foundation of why that's not fair. Because that movie was an adaptation
to the book.
Something someone else wrote. It's too many. It's like taking a glass of wine and gradually adding bleach to it. It's so many convoluted stories to whether he was homeless, whether he wasn't homeless. This man got 15 billion different interviews all on the internet. They all saying different stuff. I'm confused as hell, and usually where there's a lot of confusion, there's some bullshit in the midst. I think that both sides had something to do with some type of little scheme to make this money. He wanted to live good. He sat up in the big house living good. Then all of a sudden, the family making good money. Everybody's making money until this man retires. He sees that his money ain't adding up like he wanted it to add up. He probably got a lot of questions. I don't know. It just sounds real strange. But if they did do this to him, this is the most blatant form of narcissistic behavior. For you to use your own lawyers, for you to get your own people to forge all this paperwork and to lie to him the way they did, I don't know. That's on another level. And it's a lot of manipulation. And because there was so much deceit and manipulation, it's just a lot of shit going on. And I don't know. I feel bad for him, but I don't know. I think he had a little bit of play into it. I think he's just trying to wash his hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's it's muddy, real muddy water. You don't really know what's going on. I mean, one side.
That's nice, TJ. You from the country and everything. Muddy water, I like that.
I mean, it even highlights it in the movie, if I'm not mistaken, about how they're trying to take advantage of him, sending him to Ole Miss because they both graduated from there. That they still
facts.
They're big endorsers of Ole Miss, so that gets highlighted. And whether it's true or not, it's Hollywood, so I mean, it's going to be dramatic. But then on the flip side, what happens to a lot of your NBA superstars, your NFL stars, whenever they get done with the game? They don't know what to do with life after the game. So a lot of them go bankrupt. They spend all their money. They don't know how to live. They don't know how to manage their money because their checks go to their agents. They go to different places. Oh, so-and-so, I done made it. I got millions of dollars. Let me get my mama set up. Let me get my aunt and uncle set up.
Big facts.
Things like that. So now you're just throwing away money. And now whenever you're done, because I think his last season was 16?
17, 18. He's been retired for a couple years.
2016. Wait a minute. So he's been retired.
So he's been retired for 7 years.
So he's been out the game for a while.
That fool, bro.
So was he just irresponsible with how he spent his money? So that's another thing that came.
What his net worth is?
TJ, he might be. A lot of them offensive linemen in the NFL, no offense, they love them white hoes.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, that a lot of mismatching stories, nothing's consistent. So there's probably wrongs on both sides.
Yeah, I think probably both sides were probably wrong, and I think he sold his story to them because he wanted to go to that school too.
Yep.
So they probably both used each other. He's been out of the NFL for a long time, like 2016. That's what 7 years.
That's a long time. Actually.
And he only played in the NFL for like 7 years. So he didn't play in the NFL long. So I know he was offensive lineman, but I know they make a lot of money, but I don't know how much they made back then. I know they make the dude from Zach Martin. He just signed an extension or reworked it. He got $36 million. For this year and next year.
And let's be clear.
So I know
those who don't know, that's a guard. Michael Orr played left tackle, which is a way more valuable position in football.
Yeah, but I know he didn't get $36 million a year.
Not a year, but
back then
he should have got paid good.
But I'm pretty sure he got paid pretty good. So, But for him to only being in 7 years, most offensive linemen they played 10, 12 years or so. Or they so I remember
What year did he get drafted? Did he get drafted?
2009.
2008?
Yeah,
2009?
2009.
And he left. Oh, so it's only 7 years.
Yeah, 2016.
Okay, cool.
So, but for him, but I know he is
He
coming
better
out with a
that
book.
Super Bowl ring, man.
He better do something.
Yeah, he's coming out with a book, and so now, so it's like, are you doing this for publicity so people can go buy your book and read your story or whatnot? Only thing I really feel bad for him because he said that in the movie they made him seem like he was dumb, and then that kind of hurt his career because he didn't get like positions or people thought he was dumb, so they didn't believe in him. But actually, he was like before he started living with them, he was like a 3-sport track athlete, basketball, track, and football. So he was a superstar. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to that school. He was able to live off them, eat good, and anytime you're one of the best players at your high school, the coach is going to take care of you. Somebody's going to find you, and somebody's going to take care of you. So for him to play off this part like he was homeless and all this other stuff, so he was in foster care when he was younger. But you can't be homeless in foster care. You can't be homeless. So it's like, how are you homeless? But you was in foster care. You say one thing you're in foster care, but one thing you say you're not. So it's like all this stuff is not adding up. So and plus, how they go adopt you when you 18 years old? They can't adopt you. You was an adult.
Well, they didn't. That's why the paperwork stuff don't make sense.
Like how you even believe they go adopt you? Like unless they said they would go adopt you before you turn 18. But most likely they didn't do that before you turn 18. It was probably after 18. That's why you signed the conservatory, because they probably talked to you like, let us help you manage your money and all this other stuff. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm down with it. But he probably got mad because it didn't go the way that he wanted to go. But I know that they got over more on him than he got over on them because he was a kid. He was a young adult. He was a child. So of course they took way advantage of him, but he reaped some benefits too. So
yeah.
So, but I don't know the whole story, but I ain't got no tears for her. I know it ain't this subject, but it's the name of the podcast. I ain't got no tears for him or them. So they got money, and all of them got plenty of money. So if they would have made their money right, they would probably. I know the two still got money.
Yeah, the two were straight, bro.
They had money before the movie.
Like a Taco Bell and a Popeyes or a KFC.
I don't know.
They straight.
They were set before.
Yeah, they had money before. Yeah, so.
And y'all knew Warner Brothers was gonna get their money.
Yeah.
They just all got ate up by the big shark. That's all that is. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. End of the day, man. Hey, man. Long as Michael Orr got his NFL money and his endorsement money, that's all I give a fuck about, man. Hey, man. Before we continue, though, man, I want to give a special shout out to, if you've been listening to the podcast for more than just this episode, like since the beginning, we got our production manager in the house, D. Will. Hey, D. Will, say hi to everyone.
What's going on, y'all?
All right, that's it, bro. That's it. But
back to the scenes behind you go.
Hey, man. Do anybody got any closing thoughts, man?
Nah, man. We good, man.
I appreciate y'all letting the female perspective come into the building today. I really do. Hope to come back and talk with you guys. I'm digging this shit, y'all. Y'all did that. We talked some good talk today.
To my old flag football compadre, you got any closing thoughts, TJ?
No, man. Appreciate y'all having me on. Well, we had to do it again, get more in depth with the whole gun issue. I think we just scratched the surface with it. I think we can go deeper in it, get a lot of thoughts, and meet at some middle ground, and maybe inform some other folks.
Man, we trying to get bigger, man. So we had to get a white man on, man. They started DMing the podcast. Rose said they started DMing the Instagram saying, "Why ain't no white people on, bro?" So we had to get you on. So appreciate that. Hey, man, the words of Abe and Rakim, peace.
And I'm back quiet.